Good day again. I'm out back here in my my woods here, and just looking around and see you know, how healthy the trees are. Wintertime is a great time to do that. See, in summertime with the leaves and everything, it's hard to see what's actually going on in the among the branches, right? When I bought this property 10 years ago, this was all clear cut. There was nothing back there that was any taller than my hip. It was all little shrubs. You see that birch tree? And how at its base, there are several trees coming out of the same root system. That is the basis of what they call a coppice. Basically, a lot of leafy trees, if you cut them at the base, they'll send up shoots from that root system. And from that already established root system, very healthy root system, it'll shoot up a bunch of branches and reestablish the tree. Intelligently managed, this characteristic can really be put to good use to give yourself a perpetual supply of firewood. An average tree takes 20 years, 25 years to grow to maturity to the point where you can harvest it for firewood. But coppicing like this, you can cut that down to 7 years. So I've been here for about 11 years now, and already a lot of these birch trees are, you know, 40 feet tall. You see, you want to cut the tree at its base where the tree is getting wider for its root system. You want to cut in that section that's getting wider, just a little bit above it or into it. So basically, if I prune off all the unhealthy wood and anything that's rubbing against other trees or stuff like that, just clean it up. You're basically maintaining a healthy forest. It gives me a perpetual supply of firewood. Here's a really good example of what I was talking about. We can see the old growth that was cut. It was cut fairly high, but from the base of that, we have all kinds of new trees that have started to grow. This here's a maple, but now imagine if there was only one tree here, or one branch that was allowed to grow, it would occupy the same amount of wood that's here right now. But right now it's all spread out amongst all of these different little growths. So if I trim this, if I prune some of it and get rid of these areas, see how all the branches are really close together and rubbing up against one another? We're gonna have to cut that. That's just a vector for disease, and the tree's just not going to do very well if I leave that like that. So as a responsible woodlot owner, my job is to clean this up and you know, get the optimal growth going on this tree. I can harvest some of it. Some of those poles are really useful. Maples like that are really good. They're good flexible wood. So, they're good and solid, and they make excellent supports for in a garden. So basically, the basic story here is what you're looking for is get the maximum amount of resources out of your forest as you can get. Now you can come by and clear cut it once every 20 years, maybe 30 years, some of that, and get yourself one big payday. And that's all good. But then you have to wait another 30, 40 years, 50 years before you can get another payday. And in the meantime, if you don't take care of it, you end up with a thick tangle like this, where a bunch of small trees are all competing against one another, and you get some diseases, and it's not optimal growth. But if you use a good coppicing system, and you harvest a little bit at a time, over the long run, you can get an awful lot more resources out of your forest than otherwise. You can get poles and stuff like that for around your property, for your homestead, and build fences and such things as that. Firewood, branches and for kindling, mulch, all kinds of stuff, you know. Now to show you a little area where I have been cleaning up like I've been talking about, and you see how we've benefited. See how big these maple trees are here and over there. That one's a good size already. It's the same age as the other ones that you saw before that were in a thick little tangle, but they've been cleared, so they've climbed a great big size. They're twice, 3 times as big and as massive. Now it's the same amount of wood still. Same amount of wood. It's just that instead of being on a bunch of smaller branches, it's into 1 or 2 larger trunks. Now here's something that I should have cleaned before and I didn't. Look at this. This is a no-no. So that whole branch right there, this whole thing right here, I gotta cut that right here at the base, chop that, and harvest this piece. Because this right here is a vector for disease. So I can save the main trunk here by removing this piece here and preventing disease from transferring over from this branch to the trunk. But I have to do it soon. So I've done this whole section here like that, and all of the maple trees are a lot bigger. I got trunks here that are 8-9 inches circumference, almost ready to be harvested for maple syrup. And it's fairly close to the house, so I think that might be a project that I might set up to do in the next few years. Well, that's me signing out. Have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.